Hey, nice to meet you. Are you connected? Can you hear me?
Hello? Hello? Is this where I am supposed to apply?
Yes. It's nice to meet you.
Uh,
Thank you for taking the time.
no
Um,
problem.
we're gonna try and keep this a little bit short. I know that you have other things to do today, but
I
yeah,
do.
it's a pleasure to meet you. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Yeah, just let us know a bit who you are, where you're from, why you're applying for this job.
My name is Dante Irvingwine the III. I am
Okay.
from Massachusetts in the United States of America. I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio when I was 5, and I learned that I liked children.
That's great. Yeah. How did you end up figuring out that you liked working with children?
Well, I was a child myself, and I found out that children are very good at labor.
Sorry, could you say that again? I think I might have misheard you. You said children are good at what was that?
Labor? So,
Labor?
back on the playgrounds, me and my friend, his name was also Dante, no relation though. Me and him decided that we wanted to be the Gravel Institute. So we took all the gravel and we built it into a pile, a big old mountain, so that we had control over all the gravel. But it was hard for us to dig it up with our hands, you know? And
Uh-huh.
so we got all the other children to do it for us.
How old were you?
I was 7 at the time.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, I'm looking. I think like that's interesting. We're looking if you would like to for like professional work experience in the field or any like more recent. It's
uh,
very strange.
Remind me what this
Sorry.
job is?
Well, I'm sure that you've already seen the website, but this is for a daycare center.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, so I am at the right place. Oh, the last people were confused about it too. Don't worry.
Uh-huh. Well, okay. So yeah, I mean, did you have any like? Just go ahead. I mean, I have your resume here. You applied. It's a bit, definitely a bit unusual. It
Well,
says here that you worked at a pickle factory
I did work at a
for
pickle
3 years.
factory. Yeah, the pickle factory. So I started there in 2012, as you do. My father gave me the job. It was his pickle factory.
Mm-hmm.
It was an Irving passed down tradition of going and working at the pickle factory. And I realized that I really hated working. Like I hate working. Like really bad. So for the first year, I was pressing the pickles, putting them into their jars filled with vinegar and whatnot, making pickles.
Right.
Until I realized there was a better way. And I changed the revenue of that plant for good by hiring a bunch of 12-year-olds.
I see. Okay. So you realize that you're telling me this, and that what you're telling me is very illegal.
I don't know. Listen, whoa. I don't know if you'd say illegal. So,
Like, was this? Are you saying like this was like a program, like an after-school program, or like
yeah,
something like they were
it's
just
an
getting experience?
I would
Like
I would go
they're
in.
not making they're not making the pit. They're not doing the work. You're not employing these children, right?
Um. Okay, so what it is I would go to local like middle schools, and
Uh-huh.
I would talk to children about agriculture, right? Because there's a lot of kids who like plants. There are a lot of kids who like factories. So I would be like, how would you guys like to take the day off of school and come down to my factory? And of course, all the kids want to come with. We make a whole day of it. They come on down to the factory, and the whole day, each of them makes a jar of pickles, or maybe
Okay,
multiple.
well, that's
Well, more than one. More like a
yeah,
crate
that's
a crate of pickles. It's
sure.
it's a learning experience for the kids, and I do
Yeah,
that. I do that with every single middle school in the Tri-County area.
Well, I like that. That's very wholesome. Yeah, that's nice. And I mean, like, so they're essentially getting practice. They're going to a factory in their community. They're getting hands-on work experience.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then
How long would you say it takes them to prepare a crate of pickles?
a crate of pickles is normally it's quite the task, but with as many children as we get into the factory on them days, we're able to make one crate in about 6 hours. So we get them, if they finish up quickly, I offer to let them bake a few more. And if so, I'll offer them like a little bit of compensation because they're obviously doing me a favor. If they would it's if they would like to. I do not force the children into it because of course that's illegal. But what I'm saying is I have the children make more pickles because they want to, because they want the experience, because they had so much fun doing it the first time that they make another crate of pickles. Then they end up the rest of their day. It's almost like a regular day of school, but they're learning about pickles instead of learning about, I don't know, Jesus or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, they don't teach about Jesus in schools, but yeah. So you're saying that it takes six. I mean, how long did you have these children for? I mean, I assume that this was under the direct supervision and.
Oh, the teacher is there, and she gets to learn about the like administration process of it. So we have her wandering the factory, looking at things, teaching her about the safety of it, teaching her about how children will be one day be working in these environments themselves. So then we have her come check on the students, obviously, maybe make a few pickles herself. But mainly she's just wandering around the factory, making sure that everything's okay, so that the children are in a nice, comfortable environment, showing her where all the safety exits are and everything, making sure that she has all of her legal duties done while the children work.
Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. And how do you think that this particular experience has prepared you for, you know, working with small children, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, in a daycare caring sort of role?
So, when I heard about the opportunity to be working with young children, being able to help them in the playground, teach them about stuff, watch them while their parents aren't around, I heard a fabulous opportunity for both me and the children. See, you know how early in elementary school there's you learn about how plants grow and you have bean sprouts that you grow?
Okay. Sure. I mean, I never proved, yeah, but I can see that.
So what I do is very similar. I'm going to teach the children about how you grow life. So I was planning on in the back area where there's the playground equipment and whatnot for the children to play on, having a small garden for cucumbers. Because as a pickle man myself, I know a good amount about cucumbers.
Right. Pickles well known for being
made.
Cucumbers is their genesis.
Yeah, exactly. So teaching the children about how life is created and teaching them about how to take care of plants, teaching them about the sun, things like that, all that, while having them do all the gardening work. Because at that point, they get to learn about how nice it feels to grow something yourself, have the soil make something for you, put in all the work, and then see about 20% of the cucumbers. We'll have them into a salad or something like that.
Right.
And then other things I could do with them is teach them about reading by having them read some contracts for me. Nothing too crazy. I'm not saying anything too legally binding, but definitely having them read through some of my different constituents' things and making sure that they do come back to me. So I will teach the kids and they will read them aloud to me and I will tell them whether or not to shred the document or keep it.
Wait, so you're going over your business's actual documents?
Well, it's not. No, they're copies of my business's actual documents. Thank you.
Why would you want to? What? I mean, that seems like legal documents. They're very high, very dense language. I don't think that's something that a first grader would be able to read, let alone
see. And that's where the problem is. We haven't been teaching them enough about learning how to read legal documents. Think about it. You get a new phone, which is so common with children's these days. They got so many documents nowadays. They got so many phones or like laptops or iPads or whatever, and they have those legal documents that are so binding. So if we teach children about them early, then they'll be able to read those in the future and not get into predicaments where they sell their soul to Apple or whatever. So what I'm doing is I'm teaching them slowly what legalese looks like by having them read my legal documents.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's definitely innovative. I won't lie. That's unique, but I just have a hard time seeing that as being useful. I mean, normally kids at this age are struggling to pronounce, simple one-syllable words correctly, let alone decipher the importance of different clauses and trade deals.
Yes. And when I see that they're having troubles, obviously I'll have them like take a break, go outside, and water the cucumbers. Obviously, they're just cucumbers.
Also, I'd just like to say, and don't take this the wrong way, but it does seem strange that so far all of your interactions with children that you've told me have been related to the growing and pickling of cucumbers.
I was wondering if you had noticed that. It's
the only thing we've been discussing. I mean, yeah, I definitely noticed that.
Well, I'm glad you noticed it so that I could talk about it, because obviously I will. If I'm talking so much about pickles, I probably obviously want to be talking about pickles, I think if you think about life is a pickle.
Right, yeah, that's been said before.
Life is a pickle. You start out a small plant growing under the sun. Some sun's hotter than others, some lower and cooler. Sometimes you get lots of water, sometimes you're a little thirsty all the time. And then one day you become a beautiful cucumber. And then that's when the real process happens. Somebody then picks you up because they see your potential. Like I do, these children. And they teach you the ways of becoming like the pickle. They put you into the philosophical vinegar so that you may become, one day, a much more productive product. Like, what can you do with a cucumber that you couldn't do with a pickle?
Right.
So, it's just teaching children that you could become, one day, a pickle of your own.
I will say that this is definitely bordering on wise, and I appreciate the thought that you've put into this, although I do want to continue along. I mean, I'm just going through your resume. I mean, I haven't really got into the details, but I'm just reading this. It says from 2009 to 2011, you worked as a pre-youth base jumping instructor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was a pre-youth. Yeah, those are the fun old days.
I mean, base jumping is extremely dangerous.
Oh, incredibly dangerous.
Sport.
Yeah, that's why I taught them.
Right, you taught them to do something that is. I mean, how did you even get this job?
Well, you see, I have a friend. His name is Donovan. No relation. And he was telling me about how he had an idea for a business where he flew people up in a plane and then had them jump out. But you're base jumping, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, it's more like skydiving, but base jumping, skydiving, they're pretty similar.
Right. It says base jumping, but you're now describing skydiving to me, which is, I mean, yeah, they're
very similar. So, because he wanted that, he said we should do some tests. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense, because no one wants anybody to get hurt now, Why would anybody want it? We wouldn't want nobody to get hurt. So we started doing base jumping. We started learning how to do that. We took a few courses ourselves. We got a little bit of a certification, and we realized that, man, if we could figure it out, then of course a child could figure it out, right? Like, We
That's not a logic that you can use for anything. I mean,
Oh, well, I mean, that's what we came to the conclusion of. We realized that there was a. We realized that it was incredibly simple. And that if we could teach children, then that means we could find the best way to teach adults. Because if you could teach a child something, you can teach an adult, right?
I think that you'll be hard pressed to teach adults a lot of things that children can learn very easily. But I suppose there's some wisdom in that. What? So you decided that you wanted to test drive an
Oh,
educational program.
we legally that is not what we wanted to do.
Well, okay. But what it is what you're very directly telling me that you're trying to test drive an educational program for adults, which is very normal. I mean, if you're an adult and do whatever you want, go ahead and go base jumping. But you decided to first start with educating and teaching children how to do this.
Well,
I mean, base jumping is usually solo, right? It's done. You don't do tandem base jumping.
No, we did it. We started with tandem base jumping, but we realized that. Well, we did it first because we realized that it made the children heavier, which apparently is an important thing in base jumping. Because if you're too light, the what do you call it? The thing that catches you in the air.
No, you're an expert. You should know what these things are.
No,
Parachute?
Parachute. That's the word.
Oh my!
The parachute could take a child away in the wind.
You're saying it would just they're so light that the draft would just keep carrying them endlessly?
Yeah, that is something that we were worried about. So we started doing.
Did it happen?
Excuse me for 1 second. I have to. No.
That was a long. That pause was too long. That was too. So you're sure it never happened?
Yes.
Okay. I don't really know what to say, but
you don't have anything. There's nothing really to say. But as I was talking about this project, so we learned that these children wanted to learn to fly. So we went to nearby elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked children who wanted to fly. And do you know how many hands got raised?
I'm sure most of the children raised their hands.
Every single one of them. You're right. And I'm glad you're right. I'm glad that you're able to think see, we are two of a kind. We've got that smart kind of...
No. Do not rope me into this. We are not similar at all.
Well, you see, we decided that we asked the children if they wanted to go on a field trip with us to our base jumping facility.
Yeah.
Where they could feel the sensation of flying in a safe way.
At elementary schools?
Well, we started trying it at elementary schools, but it came with a legal conflict of apparently you're not allowed to have children jump off the roof of a school.
I would assume that they wouldn't have even allowed you into the school, and if they did, as soon as they heard this just terrible pitch, I mean, they would have escorted you off the campus as soon as possible.
Now, hey now, Mr. Sir, it's not a terrible idea. A terrible idea would have them jump without a parachute.
Yeah, or a terrible parachute.
Well, I'm glad we both know that terrible parachutes are a thing.
Yeah,
now,
they dare. They go on.
Either way, we realized that it was a cool way for children to get over the fear of falling while also getting that sensation of flying. We wanted to give children the opportunity while they are still young and they have their imaginations of feeling that experience of flying, while also giving them the experience of something that feels dangerous but isn't, so that they can grow up not afraid of the real world. There's too many snowflake children nowadays who are too afraid to jump off a cliff with a parachute from people you don't even know. And
I mean,
that saddens me.
answer me this: how many children ended up actually performing the base jump?
Every single one.
And the total number of that
Oh,
would be
let's see. We did that for what, 2009 to 2011. We went to about 50 schools. I'm gonna say about 4,000.
how did you get how did you manage? I mean, there's no way that you could have possibly create and run this institution uh, like with the permission of parents and school administration. I mean, this
Well,
must have all been secret.
no,
This
no,
is
no,
like
no, 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 no.
a gigantic criminal enterprise
So
that is only
parents,
being discovered today.
so here's what the permission slips legally said, which is legally true. It says,
Are these the permission slips and the contracts that they were going over and shredding and reading?
I am not at liberty to discuss legal finances with somebody who understands legalese.
Okay.
So what we did was we wrote it up and said, "Would you like to come and check out a very scenic mountain and learn a little bit about the local environment?"
Right.
With an opportunity, if the children chooses, to have a safe yet thrilling experience of a gradual fall down the hill to see the local environment.
Okay.
The school saw it as an exploration of the environment, so it was an environmental science cause, and the parents sign whatever they read.
Well, that's true. That's definitely true. Yes.
So that wasn't hard. The parents just signed it because they saw environmental like learning and permission slip, and mainly they just skimmed to the last page and they just signed their names. It gave us the $60 fee. And then we had the school come by, check out the environment, see that there is a soft landing spot at the bottom, see that we had our licenses and whatnot, and we did. And that was that.
And you had no issues with getting them to the site. You had no issues.
We got a van.
People asking questions about how they're gonna fall or how they're gonna get there or what the fall means. The fact that they're actually going to be parachuting by themselves. And no children were hurt in the process.
Yes.
No children were hurt in the process.
No.
Correct.
No children were hurt in the process. Yes.
In any from greeting to introduction to permission to the actual jump to their rides home to their parents, no children were hurt in that process. None of the 4,000. Not one of the 4,000 suffered any physical consequences that would have been caused. But no. It took you a long time to say no. It makes me wonder. You realize that it does make you look a little bit suspicious.
Okay, well, I was listening to your whole thing because I'm a respectable man, and I just wanted to hear what you said. They didn't jump alone. They jumped with 5 other students so that they had enough ballast to not get taken away by the wind. That we learned. That was the
problem. Yeah, okay.
Then, administration, they asked questions that we answered.
Like what? Like where are you going? How are you going to be facilitating an entire class of 50 students? And what are you going to be doing with
van?
And you responded,
van. Yeah, I've got a van.
Singular van.
Yes.
Did you rent a bus?
I've got a van. Why would I rent a bus?
Did you take? Okay, all right. So you took a van. That's not really the issue, but fine.
Yeah.
Okay. and everybody was okay.
Everyone, no one got hurt.
Well, I hate to break it to you, sir, but I will say, uh, I personally do not feel comfortable with a person of your particular background and interests working for this particular daycare. I mean, we want to be, we want to be making sure that everybody's safe. That's the first priority.
Of course, of course.
So, um, I guess just I appreciate that you've decided to come on. We'll take a look at you. Maybe you'll hear back from us, but I'm just going to tell you straight up. I don't think that uh, this is the kind of influence we're going to want to have.
See, and that's what they said when I worked at the. It's not a penitentiary. It's called a correctional facility for young adults. That's what it was. That's what they told me there too, and I still worked there for 5 years.
You worked at a correctional facility for young adults?
Yes.
That's not even on your resume. That's the most impressive thing that you've said so far.
I worked as a janitor.
Ah, gotcha.
And I slowly worked my way up, and I started giving pills to kids.
Christ. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Legally. I worked behind the counter. I gave them their medicines.
You were a janitor. You don't have a There's no. You're not prescribing anything. What would you be prescribing?
Ibuprofen
At
and
a
sugar.
correctional facility. At juvie.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a juvenile institute for the criminally insane.
For the criminally insane. Okay. Well, I can see why you might have some access. Well, you personally wouldn't, but
I gave them ibuprofen and sugar every night before bed.
oh, okay. Well, that's strange that they would give you that responsibility, but that's.
Oh, no. That was a responsibility I took in and on myself, and then I charged them about $300 a night for it.
300. You charge what, the convicts?
No, the convicts obviously don't have any money. They're children, and criminally insane children at that.
Yeah.
But no, I sent my pay stub in, or it's not pay stub, invoice. I sent my invoice into the prison.
So you charged the prison for your own volition, voluntary providing ibuprofen and what, sugar?
Yes.
So sugar pills and painkillers.
Oh, no, not sugar pills. I would give them 1 sugar cube and 5 ibuprofen.
It's a lot of ibuprofen for a single dose, but that's fine, I suppose.
They were very small children.
Why did they need it? Why did you think that was helpful? Or
a lot of the kids said they weren't getting their meds. So I took it upon myself as a good Samaritan who cares about children and their safety to give them their ibuprofen and sugar.
Do you think that ibuprofen is the only kind of medication that exists?
Well, I wouldn't give them crack.
There's more kinds of medication than ibuprofen. I mean, you don't know what their particular affliction is going to be. I mean, there's all sorts of different things.
Yeah, but the ibuprofen puts them down for the night, and the sugar makes them feel better in the morning.
I see. Okay. I mean, I see. So you were just lightly sedating them and giving them sugar.
It's about that, yeah. It was pretty
Okay.
good. It was a lot of fun. The children started to like me. They used to call me Mr. Pillman.
Yeah. You see, what we're looking for really is a figure who is playful, friendly, knows reasonable, like, disciplinary methods that are gentle and loving. And so far, everything that you've said so far has given me the impression that you're either exploiting or drugging children for a living, and all under the guise of helping students for your own profit.
helping students for their future.
Yeah.
So, do I have the job?
You will be hearing back from us in a couple of weeks. Uh, Thank you very much for coming on. I think that I've seen enough, and I do appreciate your time. But I am going to be forthcoming with you. I don't think you're the right fit. So I would keep looking.
Well, here's my business card. Give it to
Thank
any
you.
chillin' you know.
Yep.
And I will talk to you another time.
Wait, I'm not going to give it to any children.
Oh,
Okay.
well, give it to their give it to their parents. That's a smart idea. Chillin' forget things like that all the time.
I'll be giving it to someone for sure. Most likely law enforcement. But best of luck,
All right.
Mister Irvingwine.
Thank you very much.